Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in this video we are going to create a complete end-to-end project with the help of Django channels, and we are going to build a chat application where user can select a room and he can send a messages to particular room and also can see the previous messages of the that particular room. So we'll have also login and logout functionality. So let's get started without wasting any time. So here I have already opened my VS Code, and here we are going to code. Okay, so first we are going to create um, virtual environment. So I will create one virtual environment here. So let's say virtual env, and let me open command prompt here. Okay, so here I'll just say virtual env, and make sure you have installed virtual env. If you don't, then you just say pip install virtual env, and I'll just create one virtual env called env. Okay, then it will get installed. Okay, so as you can see, one environment got created here, and now we are going to activate that environment. It will take some time. So while it is getting created, let me show you the channels page. Okay, so now I have already opened ChatGPT, so if we'll get stuck at any place, then we are going to ask okay, so it will help us to uh, like when we'll get stuck, we'll have our answer ready, right? So that's why we'll use ChatGPT as well. Okay, so now we'll say channels. Okay, channels Django. Okay, so here is the documentation. Okay, so channels can useful when we want to work beyond the HTTP request, because when we say Django, then Django only supports HTTP request. But when we want to work with the non-HTTP request, like Websockets and chat protocols, then we can use Django channels there. Okay, so channels built upon the native ASGI support in Django. So when you will create Django project, then there will be one file called ASGI related, right? So there we can mention the other settings. So don't worry, I'll explain you what we are going to do. This is just the overview of Django channels. So let's get started. Let's get back to our VS Code, and here we have created our env, and now we are going to activate that. So let's say env scripts and activate. Okay, so now as you can see, we are in our environment. Okay, so now here I'll just say clear, so we will have uh, clear is not working here in command prompt, don't worry. Okay, so now I'll just say I'll just install Django here, so I'll say pip install Django, and now Django will get installed in our environment. Okay, so like while it is getting installed, let me go and I'll just type some here. Let's say basic. I'll just walk through the internet. I'll say basic login logout uh, functionality, login logout, or I'll just say real time chat app Django. Okay, we are going to uh, grab some code from internet and we are going to work with that. Okay, okay, so now it is getting installed. So first we also need to install channels. Okay, so we will need this channels uh, library. Okay, so we are going to install channels as well, so it will take some time. Okay, Django is getting installed, so let's wait for some time. And now what it is suggesting, that first we have to create a project. Okay, after creating a virtual environment and activating that, we have to create a project. Okay, and then we have to install channels, and also we have to add that channel into our uh, settings. So as you can see now, our Django got installed. Now I'll say pip install and Django channels. Okay, so first let's create our project here. So I will say Django admin start project. Okay, start project and first project. Okay, first, not first project, let's say we are going to give a name as vchat app. Okay, so this will be the project, and as you can see we are having our project. And now here I'll go in the project, so I'll just say vchat app, and we are now in our project. So we are having a bunch of files in our project. Okay, I hope you know what is this files. If you don't, then I'll highly recommend to watch my previous videos where I am explaining project and creating Django projects, where I'll just explaining all these files as well while creating the projects. Okay, so I make sure that you have like basic knowledge of Django. Okay, so now I'll just also create one application in this. Okay, yeah, so I'll just create one application. So let's say python manage.py, and let's say start app. Okay, start app, first app, or I can say chat app. Okay, chat app. So now we have our application inside our project. Okay, chat app. Okay, now we are going to install channels in this. So let's say pip install channels. Okay, channels, we are going to install channels. And yeah, now it is getting installed. So here now channels is installed successfully. So now in settings.py file we are going to do some changes. Okay, we are going to add something. So in installed apps, let's say I'll just add channels here. Okay, channels, I'm adding that in the first row. Okay, channels. Okay, so now it is looking fine. Let's verify. So this is channels. Okay, so now it is right. And let's add one comma here, and also we are going to add our application name. Let's say chat app. Okay, so we have added chat app here, which is our application. Okay, and yeah, that's all. Now we are also going to create one folder called templates. So we will have templates in that particular directory. So I'll just say new folder, and let's give a name as a templates. Okay, so templates will be the name. Now I'll just import one module called OS, and now we'll register our templates directory. Okay, basically we are not going to focus on static files. Here we are just creating templates, and we are going to use that directory to manage our HTML files. Okay, so now here in this templates we are going to do something like os.join uh, os.path, let's say os.path.join, and now we are going to say base directory, and also templates which we have created. Okay, so now this is looking fine. Okay, so now this is the thing. Now this is looking fine. So now I will just create one file, let's say or we can just grab something from the internet. So I'll just say login logout basic functionality setup Django, and here we have some pre-written code. So we are going to take that from here. So what it is suggesting, that in our file we have to add this path. Okay, so make sure you also have this you have also worked with this login and logout functionality inbuilt in Django. Okay, I'm assuming that you have worked with this. And here in the project in urls.py file I will add that line. So here I'll just add that line. Okay, so we have to include we have to import include, so I'll just say comma from django.urls import include, and now this is looking good. So now we'll have all the respective uh, inbuilt URLs in with us. Okay, so now it is saying that now we can create a login page here. So I will just create a directory called registration, and in that we'll have one file called login.html. So in templates, I will just create a new folder called registration, and in that I will have a new file, let's say login.html. Okay, login.html, and I'll just copy this bunch of code. Okay, so I'll just have this code. Okay, so now this is looking fine. So now already we have added this. Okay, so now we don't need to do this, or we can also do, like, we can just copy this as well. So I'll just take that from here, and we can just do something like this as well, right? Yeah, or we are not going to change this. Okay, let's keep this as of now. Okay, so now in settings.py file we have to give login redirect URL. So in settings.py file we have to give a login redirect URL. Okay, so here we are going to give that, let's say here. Okay, login to redirect URL will be the this URL, and now now this is looking fine. So now we are going to create a base.html page here, and let's check if we have like missed any steps or not. So now, as of now, I think this is fine. Uh, we have all the steps completed. Okay, so now we are going to create one base.html page inside our templates directory. So I'll just add one file called base.html. Okay, so in that we will have this code. Okay, so now don't worry, like if you are following this, then I'll put all the code in my GitHub page, so don't worry about that. We are just following this like random code from the internet. Okay, so here we'll say Django vchat app. Okay, or we can say just vchat app. Okay, vchat app. We can also give name, let's say TheCodeSpace for our promotion. Okay. Right, so now we also going to create a home.html page. Okay, so now in registration, not in registration, in templates, we are going to create a new file, let's say home.html, and now we'll just copy this. Okay, and we are going to paste that here, and now what it is saying that while we are at it, we can update login.html to extend our new base.html. So we have to update our login.html page because now we are working with base.html. So now we are going to extend it. Okay, so in the login.html we can add this code. So let's say this, something like this. Okay, login here, and now in urls.py file we can add this. Okay, so now our project urls.py file we can add this. In this here we are going to add this line for managing our view. Okay, later we are going to remove this because we are going to use our main application URLs, okay, instead of this project. So I'll just copy and I'll just paste that here, and now I think it is looking fine. So now what we are going to do, we are going to run our project. So now I'll say python manage.py run server. Okay, run server. Okay, so now our server will get started, and yeah, as you can see, it is running on 8000. Okay, so now I will go in localhost localhost 8000, and boom, as you can see now it is successfully running on localhost 8000. And if I'll say login, then as you can see we got a beautiful looking inbuilt page from Django. Like also we had added code for this in our project. So currently we don't have any user, so I'll just create one user. So let's say I'll just say python manage.py run server, not run server, I'll just say create user, create super user. Okay, create super user. So now our okay, so before that we have to make migrations. Okay, make migrations. So let's say make migrations. So now we are migrating. uh, okay, so now we'll say migrate. Okay, so now we have to migrate first, then we can create a super user in Django. I hope you know this concept, right? So now we are going to create a super user. Okay, so now I'll just keep a name as admin. I will give a name email ID as admin@gmail.com. I will give a password, let's say admin@123. I'll give a password again, and I'll say y. Okay, and now as you can see that super user got created. So now I'll just run my server again. Okay, so now our server will get start. So I'll just refresh my page, and now I'll just say admin, and I'll give my password, let's say admin@123. And now as you can see that we are in our home page. Okay, so yeah, I think it is running successfully. Like we have uh, written the code to log in into the application. Okay, so now let's check, like, is there any option to log out? Okay, so uh, I think there is no any option, not any option for logout as of now. Okay, so yes, it there is also one page for logouts. I'll just grab the same code for home.html. Okay, and I'll go in the page, and I'll just say copy and paste. Okay, so I'll just refresh my page. So I'll just refresh my page, and as you can see we have a link for logout as well. Okay, so now this is looking great. So here uh, like for logout also we have to give a redirect URL. So I'll just give a redirect URL in this. Okay, so it is looking fine. So now uh, uh, there is some other portion as well we have to do. So now that we have a home page view, we should use that instead of our current hard-coded approach. So what's the URL name of our home page? It's home. So like we can also use the name into the URL. So I'll just say here I'll just copy and paste this. So this is already we have added here. So now just copy and paste here. Okay, so now this is for home, and now I'll just copy this, and in urls.py file, sorry, in the settings I'll just I'll just add this. Okay, so now this is looking fine. So yeah, that's all. Now I'll just refresh my page. Okay, so now I'll just log out. So we are on the same page, right? And if we'll say login, then we can add our username and password. Okay, and now we can just log out. Okay, so this is looking fine. So now we don't need this page anymore, because it helped us a lot, but now we don't need that, right? So now we are going to update our code, and now we are going to focus on the Django channels. Okay, so here, like, this is looking fine. So now uh, let's say if user will log out, then I want it to directly go on this login page. Okay, so we will just redirect user. So in this page. Okay, so I'll just say accounts/login, and when it will log in, then we'll just go in the home page. Okay, so now let's say if a user has entered admin and admin at the rate 123, and if he's logging in, then as you can see it is in log main our home page, and if it is logging out, then as you can see it is in this page. So now it is looking fine, right? So suppose if I'm going in this, so it is saying you have to log in first. Okay, so now uh, now what we are going to do, so now instead of this using this, now we are going to actually include our app. So let's say include, and we are going to say our application name, let's say chat app dot urls. Okay, and now we'll add one bracket here, and now we have to create a new uh, what application name is we have v chat app or chat app. Okay, so chat app is the name. Okay, so now we are going to let's check if we have added chat app uh, into our settings. So we have added that, right? Chat app is the name. Okay, so now this is looking fine. So now in chat app we are going to create uh, a new file, let's say urls.my file, urls.my, and here I'll just paste that urls code, and we are going to update something. Okay, so now here we are going to paste that code, so we don't need this, so I'll just remove this, and also we don't need this as well. Okay, so I'll just remove this, and we'll have our main page, so I'll just keep it as empty, and I will create a home page view. So we use dot home page, or I'll say rooms. Okay, rooms will be the main page. Okay, so I'll just import from dot views, import uh, rooms. Okay, that also we can use, or from dot we can just import views. So from dot we can import views. Okay, so now we can use views, and we forgot, I think we have removed that path, so we can just add that as well here. Okay, so I'll just take this, and I will just add that here. Okay, so as you can see we have added that. uh, okay, we don't require this include as of now. So now this is looking fine, so I'll just create one view in this. So let's say diff uh, rooms is the name. Okay, and it will take a request, and we are going to return http response. Okay, uh, we have to include http response as well. So from somewhere we can just grab that. Okay, so we can just we just need a render. Okay, so we can just use that. So I'll just say I'll just grab that from here. Okay, render, and okay, we only need render as of now, so I'll just say I'll just copy this line, and I'll just paste that here, and here we have our home.html page. Okay, so I will use home.html, home.html. uh, let's do this. I think I need to plug my charger in. So yeah, this is looking fine. So now it is looking good. So now I'll just refresh my page. Let's check if we are getting any error or not. Okay, so here I'll just say python manage.py run server, and hope we should not get the error. So there was one typo there, so we have to add chat app instead of chat pp. Okay, so that was the mistake, so I'll just run my server again, and now let's check if it is working or not. So now we have restarted our server and it is working fine. So I'll just go in my home page, and I'll just refresh, and if I'll go and log in, and then I'll say admin, and admin at the rate 123, then we are going to, yes, we redirect to our home page. Okay, so here now we need one window here, or what we need is we have to, we don't need to make this page as our chat room, but we want to display all the rooms available. Okay, so for that, for storing the rooms, we want to uh, uh, create a models for that. So then we will add one some rooms, and we will display those rooms, and when suppose user is clicking on one particular room, then it will get redirected. So for that, we are going to create uh, models inside our application. Okay, so here is our app, and I'll just open my models.py file, and here we are going to create rooms. Okay, rooms model, or room we can say. So let's say class, and room name will be, class name will be room. Okay, and here we'll need to add models dot model. Okay, models dot model, and here uh, we have to add this, and now we want two fields in this. So let's say one is the name. Okay, and this will be uh, models dot char field. Okay, name will be char field, so char field, and here length will be, let's say we have 20. Okay, so uh, room name can be 20 character long. Okay, and then we are going to add one new field, let's say slug, and this we will use when we are going to work in our page. Okay, so don't worry, I'll explain you. Okay, so currently what we need is models dot slug field, and we are going to say slug length. Okay, so we can give length. So let's say slug field can be 10 character long. Okay, so now this is looking fine. Also, for later storing the messages, we are going to create a model called message, and it will also have the same thing, models dot model, and then we'll have a content. Okay, so let's say content, when like user will type something, some messages, then this will get stored in this content field. Okay, so let's say content here, and this will be a text field, so models dot text field, sorry, not text choices, this will be text field. Okay, text field here, and here so we need one more field called user. Okay, so for that we say user is equal to models dot foreign key. Okay, it will not foreign object, it will be foreign key. Okay, and it will connect it to our main user model, which is inbuilt in Django. Currently we don't have, so we have to include that. We are going to include that. Okay, so also we have to add uh, on delete is equal to models dot cascade. Okay, so I know this concept, you know that suppose if user got deleted, then all the messages related to that will get deleted. Okay, so from Django dot contrib dot auth dot models, we are going to include our user model. Okay, and now this is looking fine. So also we have to add one more field, let's say for room. Okay, so this will be like models dot uh, foreign key. Okay, foreign key, and same like for this room, it will get connected, that this room. Okay, we are adding this room, and then on delete cascade is equal to models dot cascade. Okay, so now this is looking fine. So we have added this three field. Also we can have one more field, let's say created on. Okay, so it will be the created, okay, created on field, and it will be the date time field. Okay, datetime models dot datetime field, and we are going to say auto now add is equal to true. So it will get, when some messages get created, uh, it will note the time and it will store the time in this field. Okay, so that was the direct structure of our models. Okay, we have two models, room, which have two fields, name and slug, and also we have one class called message, in that we have four fields. So I hope you understood. So now what we are going to do, now we are going to run our server, and I think we have made one mistake here. Length, we have to say length. Okay, and this is looking fine. So now we can restart our server, and let's say python manage.py run server. And before going ahead, we also have to register this model into our admin.py file. So now we are going to do that. So let's say I'll just copy this thing from here and I'll just paste that here, and instead of post we have two models. So let's say um, room and also message, and we are going to uh, use that here. So let's say admin.site.register room, and also admin.site.register we'll say message. Okay, so now this is looking fine. So now I'll stop my server. Okay, let me close this, and I'll just say uh, python, sorry, not here, here I will say python manage.py. Now we are going to migrate our models, so we have to say migrations, make migrations. So make migrations. Okay, before going ahead we have to say this. So as you can see, two models got created, room and message. Okay, and their respective files also will get created in this. So as you can see, in 001 initial.py file we have the following configuration, and now we are going to migrate that. So let's say python manage.py migrate. So now it will get migrated to the database. So as you can see that we migrated our models. So we can just say python manage.py run server. So now we have started our server. Okay, I will just close this unnecessary files which we don't need. Okay, so I'll just also remove this. Okay, so now what we are going to do, let's close this, and I'll just say uh, localhost 8000. So this is looking fine. So now we'll go in admin page. So admin is the page, and here as you can see that we have our two uh, models here, room and messages. Okay, so this is looking great, and also we have default models here, groups and users. And let's say we just add one new user. We'll add that later. So currently what we'll do, we'll add some rooms here. So let's say we have a room called chat room 1. Okay, chat room 1, and we'll add some slug, let's say uh, chat or some random slug here. So let's say chat 1. Okay, chat 1, and we'll save this. And another room, let's say chat okay, chat room 2, and same slug we can add. And this is this objects I don't want to see, I just want some string here. So we'll go in our models, and we will define the, like how we this will get represented in the admin panel. So for this room, okay, we are going to say diff str method. Okay, str method, not like this. Okay, so this is looking fine. So self dot name, room name. Okay, I want this. So let's refresh this, and now we got an error. So self dot name, and now we have to refresh our server again. So let's refresh it. Okay, so now let's refresh our page. So as you can see, now we are getting a particular name instead of those object name, right? So this is looking great. So if I'll go in this, then we have this interface. So now this is looking good. So now what we need is like if I'll go in my home page, let's say localhost 8000, then if I log in, so I already logged in. So if I go in this page, I want some particular like uh, particular channel, sorry, room names here. Okay, so I want a list of room names here. So let's say here what I'll do, I'll go in my views.py file, and in this rooms what I'll do, I will say rooms, or we have to import our model here. So from dot models import room. Okay, import room, and here we have to grab all the objects. Okay, so let's say rooms is equal to room, which is the model name, dot objects, sorry, objects dot all. Okay, so we have our all the objects, and now in the context we are going to pass that. So let's say we say rooms. Okay, this will be the name of the variable, and we are going to use that rooms. Okay, and now what we'll do, now we are going to refresh our page. So currently we don't have anything, right? Because we haven't used that yet. So now what we'll do, we are going to go in the home.html page. Okay, currently I don't want this as to be a home.html page. I want to rename this like rooms.html. Okay, or rooms in small.html. Okay, so now we are going to go in our views.py file, and we'll just say rooms.html. Okay, and now let's refresh this. So this is looking also fine. Our server is running, because so we are not getting any error. So here what we'll do now, in this rooms.html page, we are going to actually uh, do some logic. We are going to add some logic here. So let's say, or what we can do, we can just grab some thing from bootstrap. Okay, so let's say flex items bootstrap. Okay, bootstrap container, bootstrap bootstrap container. Okay, we can grab some flex containers from here. So let's say this is looking fine, or what we want is uh, I don't need this, so I'll just go in this bootstrap, get bootstrap.com, and here we have something. Okay, so first we have to go and we have to use the starter template of bootstrap. So we can say something like bootstrap starter template, and here uh, we will go in this page, and we are going to copy one starter template here. Okay, and we can use that here. So in base.html, instead of this, let's copy this here, and we will do we'll just change our main, we'll do the changes in body. So I'll just do control X, and in body, instead of this, I'll just say control V. Okay, and here in title also I'll do the same. So control X, and here I'll just grab that title. Okay, so this is looking fine. So now I just remove this, we don't need this anymore. So I have just removed that. Okay, so now let's refresh our page. So now as you can see, now we are using bootstrap instead of a normal HTML. We are using bootstrap. So let's do control minus, and now this is the page. Okay, now what we need, now we have used this. Okay, so now we have to use some components of Bootstrap. We can use that right now. Okay, components in this. We can also add uh, some container here. Okay, so let's say we can use cards here as well. Okay, so this kind of card we can use. So I will just grab one of the cards from here. Let's say this card. Okay, this card we can take, and just something like this we can take from here. Okay, and what we can do, in our rooms.html page here, we can just paste that. Okay, so now if we don't need the image, so we can just remove that image as well. So I'll just remove this image.src as of now. Okay, so we don't need that. And now let's refresh our page. Okay, so now as you can see, now we have this beautiful looking card here. So let's say I will just give the name, or we can just change the name, right? But currently what we need to do, we can just uh, use that variable, okay, here inside our page. So we passed that rooms here. Okay, so now we can use that. So I will just say uh, we can just do something like this: for I in rooms. I hope you know the templates, variable and all, loops concepts. Okay, so uh, variable and all concept. So here what we can do for I in rooms. Okay, uh, like let's say we can just close that for loop. Okay, for I in rooms, and we can just say end for. So we have just ended that for loop here. So if I in rooms, then we can just do something like this. So let's say I dot name. Okay, I dot name, and something like this in here. So let's say uh, go to room. Here go to room, go to room. Okay, and yeah, we don't need this description anymore, so I'll just remove this. Okay, go to room. Okay, so now this is looking fine, so I'll just refresh my page, and as you can see that we have this beautiful looking cards here. And also this is not the static, by the way, this is coming from our database, right? I think you know that we have added 2 rooms, so this is coming from the data. Yes, so now it is looking fine, right? So now we have all the like rooms which is coming from the database. So now suppose if user is clicking on this room, then we want to redirect that into some particular room, so that we are going to do. So currently, like if I'll click on this, then nothing is happening. So here like we have to go in this urls.py file, and suppose we have to add one path here as well. So suppose user is going in some room, so we have to do something like str uh, and uh, the uh, okay, so let's say slug and str. Okay, slug and str, something like this. Okay, so this something like this, and also we can do we can map this to the views.room. Okay, views.room room which we will create. Okay, so we are going to create a room view. Okay, here, and then here we are going to create a room view. So let's say diff and room, and it will take request, let's say request, and also it will take slug. Okay, it will take slug, and it will uh, return the same thing. Let's say I'll just copy this and I'll just paste that here. So we don't need this context as of now, so I'll just remove this as of now. And here now we are going to redirect to the room view. Okay, and let's also pass the slug as well. Okay, so we are going to pass this slug to see into our page. Okay, so I'll just say slug, we can just say context. Okay, context, and we can just pass this context into this, right? And here slug is equal to slug, which we are getting. Okay, so now this is looking fine. So here I'll just refresh my page. I'll go back, and if I'll click on this, then currently, as you can see in you will see below, then you are not going in the particular URL, because in HTML page we are not able to redirect that, right? So here we have to say something like this. We have to go in the particular room. Okay, so we have to use some slug here, right? So I dot slug, we can say I dot slug, because we are able to get the name, so we can able to get this slug as well, because we have defined this field into our database. So now if I refresh this, and if I'll hover on this, then as you can see below, you are getting the slug URL. And if I'll go here, then uh, it is not redirecting in the particular thing, right? So in urls.py file there was some typo. Here we have to do something like str and then slug. Okay, and now let's refresh this. So I think here we have made the mistake. We have added one extra comma here. So if I'll go and refresh that page again, then as you can see that we are in the page of that particular room of chat 1. Okay, so yeah, this is looking great, right? So now if I'll go back, then if we have the list of rooms. Okay, uh, based on your requirement, you can just change the UI of this particular page. Okay, I will mention the GitHub link of my project, where I have added a good looking UI as well, so you can follow that. So I'll just click on this, and now in this page, now I want to add the container and also one input chat box. Okay, so I'll go back to the this GFG article, and here I will just grab some of the code from here. Okay, so here I'll just take one class from here. So let's say here I will just grab from this body to the this div. Okay, this div I'll just take from this to this, and here in our room.html, or else we can just take all the things, but as of now let's copy what we have added. Okay, so this is the thing, and also we can take the code from rooms.html, all the code, and just we can just paste that here. Okay, and now in this we can add our div. Okay, so what we can do, we can just cut all the things here from here, and now we are going to add that in this here. Okay, so in this here we can just add that. So I'll just paste that here, and now let's refresh our page. So let's refresh, and as you can see that we have this input with this button. Okay, so we can do some changes here as well. So instead of send message, we can just say send. Okay, so let's refresh this. Now it is looking good. So now also we have one container. So when some message will like when user will pass some message, so it will get displayed in this container. So let's go back, and now let's go below, and here now what we need to do, Now here it comes the main thing. So we have to create a routing.py file into our application. Okay, so here what I will do, I will just say inside this uh, inside this project we can just inside app also we can do, but inside our main project we can just create one file called routing.py file. Okay, routing.py file, and here we can just copy this code. Okay, so this is looking good, and we are going to create consumers.py file in the same project folder. So I will say consumers.py. Okay, consumers.py, and here I will just copy this consumers.py code and I'll just paste that here. Okay, so now this is looking fine, and let's check if we are missing anything from here. Yeah, so also we have to add this code into our ASGI.py file. Okay, I will explain on the things later, but let's do this. So in ASGI.py file into our application, uh, sorry, in this our project we have ASGI.py file. So here I'll just paste that thing. Okay, and we don't have this chat app. What we had is vChat app, right? So vChat app we have. So we have vChat app. Okay, and from dot import routing. Okay, so we have routing in the same directory, and also this thing is looking great. So here as you can see that earlier we also had only this HTTP configuration. Here also we are adding WebSocket related configuration. So what it is doing, it is adding the middleware stack for authentication purpose, and also it is adding URL router, which is pointing to the routing.py file URL pattern. So when some WebSocket related request will come, it will check for this configuration in ASGI.py file, and it will then redirect it to this routing.py file, and here it will check for the URLs which we mentioned here, and here then it will get connected to the consumers in this. Okay, consumers.py file code. So this is looking great. Okay, so now what we need to do, now this is looking fine, and also we have to add this channels layer configuration. So as I mentioned earlier that we can also use RabbitMQ and Redis instead of this, but as of now we are using this because what is the advantage of using Redis is we don't have there will not be any more processes will get created, so the message conversation will be good when we use in production, but while using uh, in memory layer we can have multiple processes. So that is the main advantage of using Redis instead of this in memory layer, but for a development purpose we can just use this. Okay, so I'll just copy this and I'll just add that into my settings.py file. So here is my settings.py file. I'll just add that here. So we have added that. So now this is looking great. So now let me go and now let's check for our terminal. So now it is running. So now let's refresh our page, and yeah, this is good. So if I'll say hi, then let's check if it is working or not. So it is not working. Okay, so now what we can do, so now this is looking fine. So now let's check. So here in this we will just inspect here, and let's check here. Okay, and as you can see it is getting failed to connect with. Okay, so now what we can do, in our room.html we have to do something like this. So we need to pass the chat room name as well. Okay, uh, so means slug name, right? So let's add one plus here sign, and we can just get the room slug. Okay, so how we can get that here? So let's check. Let's just copy this. Okay, let's just copy this, and then what we'll do now in this script, I'll just let's say document.query selector, and I'll just uh, give some name. So let's say room slug. Okay, room slug. Okay, room slug. And here in the HTML, what we can do, we can just add one uh, bracket here, and we can just create a JSON script tag. Okay, so let's say we have I dot we are passing slug, right? From this room, we are actually passing the slug, so that's the same thing which we can use here. So we need to do something like slug, and here slug, and then pipe symbol. Okay, and JSON underscore script we have to use. Okay, and then we have to say colon, and we can just say room slug, something like this. Okay, room slug, we can just do something like this. So now what will happen is, now we are passing slug from our view, and the same tag will get created with the names room underscore slug, and we can just grab that slug here, and we can just store somewhere, let's say room slug, something like this, or let's say room slug. Okay, room slug, and we can just copy this, and we can just append that in the URL. Okay, room slug, and now this is looking fine. And now let's refresh our page. Okay, so now refresh our page here. So now this is not getting uh, this URL is not perfect, I guess. So let's just check. So now I will just do alert. Okay, I will just add alert, and I'll just say room slug. Okay, room slug here, and I'll just let's refresh this, and here as you can see we are getting HTML element. Okay, so now room slug dot text, we can say text. Okay, let's say text, and now let's refresh the page again, and as you can see now we are getting a perfect thing. So now there is some problem in this, but now we are getting the jet1 in the script, right? So here we can just add some thing in this URL pattern, or we can also go with this, but for our conventions, let's say I'm just adding this WS here, and also we can just assign this as a const. Okay, const, and now we'll add one plus symbol here, and we'll add forward slash here. So now the location will be like localhost slash ws, then our room slug. Okay, so in routing.py file we have done something like this, ws slash room slug. Okay, so then it will go in this chat consumer, and it will get connected. So now also we can add this format, like this is which in my code, okay, which I have written earlier. So in this routing.py file, instead of that we can just use this format with regular expression. Okay, and we just need to include repath. So here we can use repath as well. Okay, so now this is looking great. So now what I can do, I can just refresh my page, and now uh, there is some problem in URL again. So here instead of this query selector, we have to grab that JSON thing. So I will just replace that with this code. So JSON.pass, because we have to pass the respective thing. So here we have room slug, so we are getting that by ID, and we are getting the text content, and this room name we can just give it as a room slug here, room slug, and then the same thing we can pass here. Okay, and now it is looking good. And also in urls.py file, I have just added one comma in routing.py file, let's say. Not routing, url.py file, we can just add one slash here. Okay, slash here. And now let's refresh our page, and now there is some problem, so let's check for that. uh, Template does not exist. Now there is some problem in views.py file, I guess. It is looking good. Room.html page. Okay, so this is in, I think this is transferred in this. So now uh, we have done some mistake here. Okay, so now this is looking fine. So now let's refresh this. So as you can see, now we have this, and now as you can see that now this is some valid thing. So now we have this perfect URL, but it is not getting connected as of now. Here it is not getting connected with the WebSocket, because now as if I'll do Control C, and as you can see, now our server is not running in ASGI mode. So for that we have to install Daphne. It will help us to run our server in a asynchronous way. Okay, so pip install Daphne we have to do, and then it will get installed. And then in settings.py file we have to mention that. Okay, so now it is getting installed. So as you can see, uh, now it is taking some time. So simultaneously I will add Daphne in our settings.py file here. So I will add in our settings. So here I'll just add that, and now so now it got installed. So now I'll run my server again, and now let's wait for a while. So you do not have a ASGI application set. Okay, so we have to set our ASGI application. So go back here, and here they have mentioned something for that as well. So now after installing that, we have to add that thing into our settings.py file. So here I will just add that. So here I'll just add that. Okay, instead of this we can say what is the name of our application. So vChat app, right? vChat app. Okay, and now we can just refresh our server, and now we will see that now as you can see, earlier our server was in normal phase, but now it is working in a Daphne, and it is working with ASGI server, right? So this is looking great. So now if I'll refresh my page, and if I'll click on OK, then as you can see, connection was set up successfully. So congratulations, like you have connected your WebSocket connection here. So now what we can do, now let's go back into our room.html, and here currently we don't need this alert anymore, so I'll just remove this alert. Okay, so now our setup is now successful for the WebSocket. Okay, WebSocket connection is successfully done. So now what it will do, now it will take the input message, and then it will pass the value message and also username to the uh, consumer.py file. Okay, consumer, and then here let's go into consumers.py file. So here we are passing message and username. Okay, and in consumer.py file, so this is the consumers.py file. So when our connection will get established, then this connect method will get called. Okay, and when we disconnect, then this disconnect method will get called, and it will remove the channel which we have. So it will discard all the groups in the particular channel. Okay, and if we create a connection, then it will create it will add the channel and also group name into particular channel layer. Okay, in the channel layer it will add the group name and also channel name. Okay, but now we are going to do it dynamically, so wait for that. And also this receive method, what it will do, uh, uh, it will receive the message. Okay, it will receive the message which is coming from the our main page, and then and what it will do, it will use this channel layer dot group send to broadcast message to the all the uh, channels in the particular group. So it is taking group name, and also it is taking some parameters dictionary like type, which is the function which we have here. Okay, and also message and also username. So and also this send message will get called whenever user is adding some message. So this send message is to broadcast message to the all the channels connected to particular this particular group. Okay, so this is the concept. Now what we'll do, now I will just add a bunch of code from my past written code. Okay, so I have added this code. So we have done some changes here. So to take the take something from our URL, let's say let's say we are having this URL. Okay, we are in this page, and now to take some value from the URL, let's say we want to take the slug name, okay, which is in our URL. So we can do something like self.scope and URL root, then quarks, and then root slug. So if you want to debug this, then you can just print this self.scope and URL, then you will have a list of thing, and in quarks you will have this room slug. Okay, so let's check it out. So I'll just print this self.room name. So let's check it out, self.room name. Okay, so let's check this out. So if I'll refresh this, and as you can see that now it connection got successfully. And now if I will open my terminal, okay, so as you can see we are getting this chat one. So in this consumers we are actually taking the taking something, some this root slug from the URL, and we are just using that, right? So that is the thing. And here uh, we are creating a name, group name, with the help of some this string, and we are appending the room name into this string. So this room name is something like chat underscore, then this chat one. Okay, chat underscore one, this will be the group name. Okay, and when group name will get created, and we are just storing that group name into the channel layer. Okay, so one group will get created when connection will get established, and this is which we have to write await self.accept. Okay, and then for disconnect we are just passing the group name. Okay, and we are just disconnecting from that group, and also the channel name which we have, okay, which got created for this WebSocket connection. And what we are doing now, we are going to take the data from the that page. So message, first we are loading the data, and then we are taking data from the from our front end. So message, user, and also we are not passing room name as of now, so we can also pass room name, right? So how we are going to pass that? So here like somewhere we are passing, okay, so here we are passing message and username. So also we can pass a room name as well. So we can just say here room name. Okay, room name, sorry, what we are having there, so room underscore name. So here room name is equal to, we can what we can do, we can just pass room name from here as well in our view. So I'll just add this. So room dot objects dot get, and we are actually taking the object from this slug, and we are just taking the name of that particular room. Okay, this is the room name, and then we will go in our room.html page. So now we can access this room underscore name. Okay, so here in this JSON tag we can also do something like room name. So I'll just copy this, okay, and I'll just paste that here. And instead of this, we can just use this room name here and also here, okay. And here we can just take that as well. So room name also we can take. So here I'll just copy this, and here uh, like this we are just taking room name as well. So we can set room and name, okay, room name. So now instead of slug we are taking room name, and here the same thing which we can pass here, room name, right? So that's looking good. So now I'll just refresh, and if I'll say hi, then let's say send, and now let's inspect this, and in console, so something happened wrong, so I'll just view my terminal, and here there will be some error, okay, this, and we forgot to pass that in. Okay, so the problem was we forgot to pass that in context here, so we can pass that here, and now let's say this same thing, and now this will fine, this will work fine. We can just do Control Z, what we have done here earlier. Okay, so this is looking fine. So now let's refresh our page. The problem was we are not able to uh, passing those thing into context, so that was the problem. So I will say hi, and now let's send, and as you can see that now successfully we got our message here, and the connection got established, and we are able to send the message, okay. And now what we'll do, now we are going to create a new user, okay. So here in admin dot in this admin panel we are going to create a user, okay, which will be, let's say, Raj, and I'll just give the password admin@123, and let's save, and now we have two users, okay. So this is looking fine. So now I'll just open one new incognito tab here, and I will just zoom this out. Okay, sorry, I've closed that, so I'll just open that, and I'll say localhost 8000, and I'll just resize this, okay. And for this as well, I will just resize some width, okay. So I'll just resize it like this, and here I will just log in. So I'll just say admin and admin@123, and sorry, I logged in with the same user, so I will do with Raj, okay, admin@123 and login. And as you can see, now we are in this chat one, so I'll just go in chat one, go in this, and if I'll write hi here, then if I'll send this, then it is showing in this, and also it is showing in this as well, okay. So this is looking great. As you can see, it is this user is Raj, and also this user is admin. But if, so let's say this Raj is passing hello Raj, and if it is sending this, then as you can see, it is reflecting in this admin chat page as well. So great, I think this is looking good, by the way. And if I'll say, if we can also log in with another user and we can test, okay. So there is one mistake, there is a bug which we can say. So let's analyze that bug. So let's say we are in this first channel, okay, means this we are in this group, and let's go back, and now let's go in chat room 2, okay. So if we will go in chat page room 2, and if I'll send this, then it is looking great. So now if I'll say admin here, so let's say admin here, and now if it is logging out, and if it is passing in the admin credentials, sorry, Raj credentials, and if it is going in this, then it is this chat one messages are not reflecting here, right, which we have added earlier. So that is the bug. If I'll say hi, then if we'll say hi, then it is hi, it is showing hi here. Okay, and so this messages are not in consistent way, right? Because like every time if I'll like do refresh, then it is not getting like visible here. Okay, so that is the thing which we can resolve as of now. Okay, so if I'll do something like this, and if I go in the same chat one, so let's say in chat one I'll go, and here as you can see it is having hi, but it is not having anything, right? So that is the thing, because like in our template actually we are not rendering the message from the particular uh, past messages. Okay, so here we can do that as well. So this is the container, right? In this container what we can do, like we can just say let's close this container as of now. So let's say div, we are just going to close this, and in this actually we are going to pass the messages so from our database. So now in our views we have to do something. So let's go in our views here, and we have to pass messages from our database. So here what I can do, I can just say messages, right? Messages, and here from message, so we have to import message as well. So message we have to import. Okay, and here messages message dot objects dot filter, then we are going to filter the messages uh, based on the room slugs. Okay, so let's say room is equal to room dot objects dot get slug is equal to slug is equal to slug. So let me explain you what I am doing. So first we are filtering like we are what slug we are getting, we are just getting the room name. Okay, room object from that particular slug, and then for that room we are actually getting the messages. Okay, and then we can just pass that messages here. Okay, messages uh, I can just say msgs, okay, something like this. I can just pass messages here, and I'll just say messages. Okay, so now I can use this, or I can just say similar variable name. Okay, and I'll just use this into our room.html. So I can just add one loop here. Okay, for I in messages. Okay, and I can just end this for loop as well, and for. Okay, and here we can just say I. Okay, so that's the thing which we can do here. So we are just getting the object message object here. So I dot name we can say. Okay, I dot name, and okay, so now what is the name in models? So let's check. Okay, so for I in messages, and then in models.py file the name is content, right? Instead of name we can say content. Now let's refresh this, and as you can see that now after every message we can just add one uh, br tag here. So br tag we can just add, break the line. Okay, break the line, and now let's refresh, and as you can see, and also we can just display the username as well. Okay, so I dot user also we can do. So I'll just copy this, and I'll just paste that here, and let's say I dot, okay, user dot username, something like this. So as you can see, now we are getting the perfect messages with the respective users. Okay, so if I'll refresh this, then it will work. This is channel 1, this is channel 1. Now we are having messages. Now it is consistent. So if I'll say hi, if I'll send, okay, sorry, hi again, let's write this. So as you can see, it is reflecting here, and if I'll refresh this as well, then it will not go anywhere, because we are actually storing and we are actually grabbing the message from the database. So that's the complete idea behind it. I think we have done pretty much good for this chat app application. Okay. Yeah, so like another thing what you can do is you can just add more CSS, and you can just add some scroll bar here. Okay, and also like if we don't have any message, then also you can add some else condition like here in this messages. Like let's say if we do not have any message, then let's say we can just add one if condition here, something like this. Let's say if messages, right? If messages, okay, like this. If messages, then it will show this. Okay, otherwise it will show some message. Let's say else, something like this, else, and then and this if. Okay, and if, and here no messages for this channel. Okay, for this channel, something like this. So if I'll go back, and here I'll just go back here, and I will go in chat room 2, and here we have some messages. So what I'll do, I'll just create another channel. Okay, so here in admin panel, I'll just create one another room. Let's say chat room 3, something like this, and chat 1, chat 2, I can give chat 3. I'll just save, and I'll go back, and here I'll just go back in my localhost 8000, and I'll just refresh this. As you can see, now we have our chat room 3 as well here. And if I'll open this, as you can see, we are getting this no messages as of now, so we are getting this message as well. So yeah, that's all about this video. I hope you like this video, and also you learn a lot from this video. If you have any questions regarding like consumers, regarding routing.py file, anything, you can just put your thoughts into comment section. I will definitely reply to your questions. Okay, so that's all about this video. Now